everyone, it's Dove here. So here it is. Here is my new Suburban, my Suboverland, I should say. Isn't it beautiful? It's really dirty right now, but that's only because I'm out on BLM land and it's really sandy out here. It took a whole 10 minutes for it to get filthy. So this is not a tour or anything. I'm just wanting to show you guys my new rig. It's gorgeous. I love it. It's got these big ass tires. Unfortunately, they're just, I guess, generic. I've never even heard of this brand, and they're made in China, unfortunately. But they are brand new. They're huge 17-inch tires. They stick out from the vehicle. They're nice. I like them. Hopefully they're good enough quality. You can see though, I've already gotten it filthy. I'm not that far away from Twin Falls. I have to watch where I'm walking because there are these huge rocks sticking up out of the ground here. They're everywhere. I am in the middle of nowhere. And right over there, I don't know if you can see any of it. That's Twin Falls. But yeah, I told you this thing was going to be massively bigger than the other one. And it is. This is how I had it set up in that rental. I had the refrigerator right there, and then the bins right next to it. And that was the only space I could get side to side. Well, when I first was packing this in, I had this bin sitting next to that one. So it's that much wider than that little Nissan Rogue. I can fit quite a bit more in here. It's real messy right now. I just kind of threw everything in here. The Jackery's been unplugged all night from the port. I've got a port right back here, and it works. It was at 100% when I came in here last night, and it's probably 10 o'clock, so it's been at least 12 hours. So once I start driving again, I'll plug this back in so it'll charge back up. But my refrigerator's doing great. I've got all my drinking water here and my bathing water. This is just regular tap water, and these two are reverse osmosis water that I drew at home because we have an under the sink reverse osmosis system. So I've got my dishes here and my food. I've got my clothing bin there. These are dirty clothes, and I just piled my pillows on top and everything. Got the solar panels slid back in here, but I'm not blocking the vents on the refrigerator. I slid it back far enough that it's not blocking it. I don't like that bag there. I'm gonna have to move that, but I think it'll be okay for right now. Yes, as long as this is here, that bag won't get in the way of the vent. I got my boots back there and everything. Everything's just thrown in. I literally just transferred everything from that rental over to here and tried to get it somewhat organized. It's my shower tent. I tried to stake it down, but this ground here is really hard and rocky, and I could only get the stakes in part way. But they're not coming out. And so it's pretty windy out here. I've got my wind muff on, my road mic, so that it's not too bad, but I put 4 of them in. They could only go in just a little ways, but it was enough to keep it from blowing away. Plus I tied one of the tie outs. I tied it to the roof rack there to make sure it wasn't going anywhere. This thing is a beast. It's really tall. It's like a chore for me to get into. You can see all my fingerprints and everything, because it is so dirty out here. Got my Apex there. And yeah, I just threw everything in here pretty much. And they were not able to turn the passenger seat around, because that's originally what I wanted to do, was to turn this around and have it facing that way, and that way that's where I would sleep. But underneath here, it's not like a van. It's really kind of complicated, and it has different levels and everything, and it would take quite a bit to turn that around, and Grady did not feel comfortable doing that. And honestly, you know, this is where I slept last night. It doesn't go back very far, and that's a problem. See, that's all the further it goes back. And I'm used to sleeping at a slight incline, but not like this. This is not far back enough, and it won't go back any further. And I slept there, and it was better than sleeping in that little Nissan, but it was still really uncomfortable, and I have a feeling that I'm just not going to be able to do that. I wanted to save as much space as possible for all my stuff by, you know, using this as a bed, but I don't think that's going to work. So I might take this out altogether. I'm not sure yet. But at any rate, I am going to have to make a bed back there somewhere, because this was just so uncomfortable. I was tossing and turning and couldn't get comfortable, really. It's a lot more comfortable, like I said, than the Nissan, but not comfortable enough to get a good night's sleep. And we all know sleep is very important, so I'm going to have to figure out something else. Got my knife here, my little weapon. I saw Robin from Creativity RV. She was showing her gear and stuff, and she showed these, and so I bought some. It could be quite a owie weapon if you were to hit somebody in the right spot, so I don't think I'll ever need it, but I just want to have stuff here anyways. And I put my hammer. This is my steak hammer for pounding those in and for removing them. So I just kept that right there for the night, because I am out here in the middle of nowhere by myself. I locked all the doors, don't worry, I kept them all locked. I opened the sunroof and I left it open for ventilation last night, and that way I was able to close the actual windows, and that worked. And I put the windshield, the sunscreen in there. It just barely fits, and this is a big vehicle, so this sunscreen is huge, and it folds down into that little bag. Yeah, I've really got to watch my step. Look at all these big rocks. It's so huge out here. Grady told me about this place, because by the time that we got done signing the paperwork and everything, and there was my third brake light here, it was out, and I noticed it when we were he drove this to the rental place, and I followed him in the rental, and when he would put on the brakes, the regular brake lights were working, but that one was not. And so I mentioned that to him, and we went over to AutoZone, because AutoZone said they had the part in, and they did not. And so he had to actually run back to Suboverland. I stayed there in the parking lot at AutoZone, and he went back and got this from another Suburban that was sitting there, because they're all interchangeable. And him and his dad, Gus, they stood out there in the parking lot and replaced that for me, so that works now. But by the time that was all done, the sun was almost all the way set, And I was going to go, you know, a little bit further out of Twin Falls to find some boondocking, but it was just too far. I'm like, Grady, do you know of anything closer? And he told me of this out here. It's just right outside of Twin Falls. Twin Falls is huge. And so when you pass over the bridge, the first road that you come to is right here. And this, all of this is just BLM land, really vast, open BLM land. And amazingly, out here in the middle of the nowhere, you can still find flowers. I was happy to see him last night. I love flowers. Even if they are kind of pokey. But it's really just a bunch of sagebrush out here. And for it being the middle of nowhere, this road has quite a bit of traffic. It didn't really bother me or anything though. But there she is. I don't know if I'm going to name it or not. I don't normally name my vehicles. But I've never lived out of one of my vehicles either, so I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a name. I'm going to try to go back into Twin Falls today and go outside of Starbucks and see if I can get some internet. I've got a video from my first night out when I was in Iowa, and I want to upload that. But it's like a half an hour video, and I don't know how long that'll take. So I'm not sure. I may not be able to upload anything until I get back. I didn't get a Wi-Fi hotspot or anything because this was just a 2-week trip. I didn't want to go ahead and invest in that when I'm not even leaving yet. This was just, you know, a short trip out. So it's possible I won't get anything uploaded until I get back to Indiana. But I just wanted to show you guys real quick. Well, I guess it's not real quick. We're at 12 minutes now. Sorry about that. So I've got to get a roof basket for up there so that I can put some boxes up there and get some of the stuff out of the inside and get it up there. That'll be my attic or garage or whatever. Stuff that I don't need to get to all the time. But I love it. It's gorgeous. It's really, really nice. It's a 2005. And I am in love. Alright, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.